Well, good evening. We come to the second half of the course, our fifth major meeting, and we will switch gears somewhat in that we will switch our attention from Judges to Nehemiah. And in our time between now and Saturday, we should translate the first 5 chapters of Nehemiah and work through that. Also tonight, since you did so well on that first short story, we have another one. Another 55-pager, and tonight we will start it, and we will get through that. We will take a look at many examples in Dorsey and several other items. But I have here on my list that there was supposed to be a quiz tonight. And you have a 2-part quiz. Take a look at your short story, page 38. If you will translate that, it's very short. That's the first half of the quiz. The second half of the quiz is identifying as much as you can on the map. And here's how we'll do the map part. You get points for figuring out the title, or as much of it as you can. And then we'll go like this. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll give you 3 points for the title or any part of it. So translate page 38, which is short, out of your short story. And this will be the second half, so be what? About a 20-point quiz. Each point will be worth, each of the 20 points will be worth 5. Okay? So those on the video, taking the course on video, do the same thing. The short story, Ha-Yehudi Ha-Rishon, that we covered the first half of the class, page 38. Translate that. Second half, get your map out. Or take a look at the one here on the board if you can focus in, and translate the items on the map.
Just to make sure that's the one with the camels.
Right. Yeah, just page 38. 38 is what the right-hand side of the page. Jack, the right-hand side. Again, especially the maps, sound things out, and you will probably figure it out. again on the title, sound the words out, because sometimes in modern Hebrew they just do a lot of transliteration. Zot, Mappa, Shel, Medina, Israel.
This is a map of the territory of Israel.
That's good. This is a map, but transliteration, of the region, territory, provinces, the sections of Israel. If you got a third of it, give yourself a point, 2/3, 2 points, all of it 3 points. This is not a biblical site, but it's very much a site today. What city is that? Haifa. Tel Aviv.
Jerusalem, Beersheba, Nebuchadnezzar, or Kinneret.
Okay.
Jordan.
Good. So if you got, let's see, what do we say there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 points and then 3 for the title. Now let's take a look at the page 38, the subtitle.
Abraham sells idols.
Abraham sells idols. Abraham, Moker, Salim. Okay, the first line. Boker, Achad, Ba, Ish, El, Habayit.
One morning a man came to the house.
One morning, a man came to the house. Laish, Ha'u, Harbe, Gemalim.
With the man were many camels.
With the man or belonging to them?
By belonging to the man were many camels. Last line, Al Ha-Gamalim, Ha'u, Avanim, Gedalot.
Great or large stones were upon the camels.
Yeah. So, be your own judge there. If you got it all, if you got half, whatever, but I think you'll be all set. So name, photo long ways. Oh, what we'll do there is, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lines. We'll go, what do we have in the quiz? How many points? 20 total, so there's 10 here. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so subtitles for or 5, and each line is 5. So
So what if you miss a word within a line, how do you want us to do that?
probably give yourself 4 for that line, something like that. Okay, so total then, we'd have what, 20 points, 5 points each. Give me your positive scores circled, fold them long ways, pass them in. And as you're passing those in, 20 points, 10 here, and then 10 for translation. Oh, so 20 there. 30, yeah, do that, 30 total. So, best of 30. Okay, as that is coming around, we want to get started on another short story, and 1 page each coming around. Is there just 4? Let me do one more. This is the third in the series. We've looked at 1 so far, but this is section 3 of Ha Yehudi Ha Rishon, and we will work our way through this as a warm-up each night. And let's turn to the first page of text, and we will get started. Lesson number 1, Hamelech Nimrod. Someone figure out the title for us. The King of Nimrod. Ba'er Kasdim Haya Melech. Right here. There we go. Ba'er Kasdim Haya Melech. In Ur of the Chaldees was a king. Shem Hamelech Nimrod.
The name of the king was Nimrod.
Nimrod Kashav Ki Hu Elohim. Nimrod thought that he was God. Gam Anashim Shel Kasdim Kashvu Ki Nimrod Elohim.
People also the men,
also the men of Ur of the Chaldees
thought
Kashvu, we've already had it before. Look up the previous line. Yeah, the men of Ur of the Chaldees thought that Korakad, Ba'ir, Hish, Takava, Lapesel, Koachad, everyone.
In the city.
Everyone in the city. Rare verbal form means to bow before, bow down, bow yourself down. Everyone in the city,
Down to the idol, or toward the idol, in
Yudmuth, from Demuth, Genesis 2:7.
in the image of the king,
Yeah. King who?
King Nimrod.
Good. Page 7. Dan, Ba, Min, Hasadeh, Al, Nimrod. Yeah, Dan went from the field to Nimrod. Who? Amar.
He said,
Adoni, Hamelech, Abraham, Enanu, Meamin, Ki, Ata, Elohim. My Lord the King. Just think back, this is how the last story ended. The big controversy. What was the bottom line with Abraham?
he didn't believe.
Yes. My Lord the King, Abraham does not believe that.
That you,
You?
are God.
That you are God. Page 8. Who? Omer. Ki. Ain. Adam. Et. Ha Elohim.
He said that Adam says that man does not see God.
Yeah, he says that man does not see God. Nimrod Ka'as. Yeah, Nimrod was angry. Don Amar,
And said,
what does Dan say?
to Abraham,
Remember Talmud? Close? What are you doing with la here, or la? Not 2 or 4, probably. Belonging to? Belonging to Abraham was a Talmud. Remember Eliezer? Was a student. Shem ha Talmud, Eliezer.
the name of the student was Eliezer.
Yeah. Gam Eliezer. In a new.
Eliezer also did not believe that you are God.
Lake, El, Ha, Sadeh, Amar, Nimrod. Yeah, imperative here of Halak, go to the field. Amar, Nimrod, go to the field. Yeah, Nimrod said. So he's commanding them. Haveat, Abraham, et Eliezer. They've added an exclamation point there for you. What's habe? It's from that. Bring. Bring who? Abraham and Eliezer. Dan, Hayah, Sameach. Dan was happy. Who? Sa, El, Hasadeh, Lahavi, et Abraham, et Eliezer. He went out to the field. We just had this word. To bring Abraham and Eliezer. Eliezer, Mithkabeh. Kabah means to hide. So, what do we have here? Yeah, Eliezer hides himself, that idea. Abraham ba Eliezer, Yashbu, Kat, Eitz, ba Sadeh. Sat under tree in the field. Haim, Shamu, Kol. They heard a voice. Eliezer, come. Eliezer arose. Hu, Ra'ah, Shanei, Anashim, Ba'im. He saw two men coming. Dan Va'ebed Akkad Shel HaMelech. Good. Dan and one servant of the king. Who? Amar Shel Abraham. He said to Abraham, Dan Va'ebed Akkad Shel HaMelech Ba'im. This is what he's saying.
Coming to the king.
Yeah, Dan and one servant of the king is coming. Ani Yarei Miod. I am very afraid. Do we have one more page, or is that it? One more? Basadeh. Ayah. Esav. Gavoah.
In the field they had? No, they hid. No.
In the field was tall grass. Gavoah, tall, high. Eliezer, Ratzel, ha. Esef, Hagavoah, ba, hith, kaveh. I don't think you've had Ratz is from Resh Vav, final Saudi, means to run or rush. Eliezer ran toward or to the tall grass and hid himself. That's the idea of a hith pail. Abraham lo Yarei valo hith kabeh. Abraham was not afraid and did not hide himself. Page 11. Dan va Eved ba'u el Abraham. Yeah, Dan the servant came to Abraham. Dan Amar ha Melech Zava la Havi Oth Ka El Ha'ir. Dan said, that's good. The king commanded to bring you. Someone analyze there for us the fourth word in the sentence. What's going on there?
And your
Oth Ka is a sign direct object. Normally it's what? The Aleph Thav, but here it has the Holem Vav, but it's the direct object marker with a good. Abraham commanded to bring you to the city. Tov miod, Amar, Avraham, Ani, Falek. Very good, Abraham said. Okay. Amar ha Eved. Servant said, Amelech, Tzava, Lahavi, Gam, et Eliezer. Yeah, also bring Eliezer. Epho who? Where is he? Abraham lo ana. Abraham didn't answer. He's not going to rat on him. Ha Eved. Habit El Ha Esef. Towards the grass. Hugam Allah Ad Al Ha Eitz. Also went up on the tree. Abel Hu Lo Ra'ah Et Eliezer. But he could not see Eliezer. Dan Ha Eved Ha Abraham. Hauku El Ha'ir. Went to the city. We have one more, don't we? Lifnei HaMelech. Before the king. HaMelech Nimrod. Yeshav Bagan. Shalom. Kat Eitz Gavoa. The king of Nimrod sat where? In his garden. Takat? Under a tall tree, large tree. Abraham Dan Baha Eved Ba'u El Hagan. Abraham Dan and the servant Ba'u went to the garden. Dan Hamad, or I should say Ahmad, Lifnei Hamelech Ba'amar. Dan stood before the king and said, Adoni Hamelech Hine Abraham. One more time.
Lord King, behold Abraham.
Okay, behold Abraham. Eliezer lo ba el ha'ir. Yeah, Eliezer did not go to the city. Who Mifkabeh Basadeh. He hid himself in the field. Nimrod, Kashav, Ki, Abraham, Ish, Gadol. Yeah, thought he was a large man. Vahine, Abraham, Na'ar. Was Na'ar. Young man. So he's expecting, all he heard, a man, famous man. Here stands a young boy, basically, young man. Last page for tonight, 13. Who, Sha'al, he asked, Abraham, Ha, ma, amin, taki, ani, Elohim. Yeah, why do you not believe that I'm God? Abraham Anah. Lo, Adoni, Hamelech, Anani, Ma, amin, ki, ata, Elohim.
No, King, Lord King, I do not believe that you are God.
Are God. Ani, Yodea, Ki.
I know that you,
Inka, Elohim.
that you're not, I know that,
You're close.
you're not God.
Yeah, I know you're not God. Nimrod, Ka'as, Va, Sa'ak.
You laugh, you're not laugh.
Close, but different.
Oh, Nimrod, not.
Ka'as we've had before. Yeah. Nimrod was angry and shouted. This is the word to shout. Got angry and shouted. What did he shout? Ha-rotza ata lamuth? Tell me something about the first letter on the first word. Interrogative hey, asking the question. Resh, Saudi hey, root means to want. Yeah. Do you want to die? Lamut. Ani. Horak. Anashim. Asher. Anam. Ma. Nimin. Ki. Ani. Elohim.
I kill men who do not believe that I'm God.
That is it. I kill, harag, men who do not believe, plural, that I am Elohim, I am God. Abraham lo yarei. Abraham was not afraid. Hu ana, he answered. Einani, rotsa, lamuth, Adoni Hamelech. Yeah, aval, anani, yarei, lamuth. But I'm not afraid to die. Gentlemen and lady, good improvement in the last 2 weeks on simple things like this short story. Over and over and over and over and over. Keep pushing yourself. Doesn't matter if you make mistakes, just keep pushing yourself and read, read, read. It helps vocab, it helps grammar, it helps syntax. It brings smiles to the faces. Okay. Let's see. We need something short for a couple minutes. Let's do this. Those on video, coming around, a handout should be in your packet. It has 10 sentences on it. Simply says translate. What we'll do is work through, well, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Starting over here, find your line. Line 1. Line 2. Line 3, line 4, line 5, line 6, 7, and 8. Don't worry about getting the whole thing right. Give me something, okay? Whether it's vocab, a little bit of syntax, so anything. Those on video, start working line by line. Look at the first sentence and what do we know from it?
To follow.
Nafal means to fall, our verb. Cal perfect 3ms, subject. Hamelech.
King.
Yeah, the king fell. Where did he fall? This is a word you know with a Comets Hay directive ending. The king fell to, understood, the earth, and Lokam. Yeah, did not get up, did not arise. Kol, all, that, day, ad, until evening. Good. Number 2.
All I have is something that sounds like was made the vessel.
Yeah, vessel's there. Good. Shulkan, you're sitting at 1. No? Table. So, what do we have here? Does anyone have any insight on Shamnu, the first word? Or I should say, Samu. Sam is to put or place. So we put, or placed to be good. We placed, and then you already had the vessels all upon table.
Comes out trusting after.
This has the interrogative hey again. Hello. Yeah. What is Mem Saudi Aleph? Means to find. Did you not find them?
No. To find? Did you not find them?
Did you not find them there? Good. Number 3. Asu.
Is it we made the utensils from gold and from silver because they were for the great temple which was in Jerusalem?
Very good. Work again on the pronoun for the first word.
He? They?
Yeah, they what? They made the vessels from, keep going.
From gold and from silver
Mm-hmm.
because they were for the great temple which was in Jerusalem.
Very good. Number 4, ba'u.
What was that? That asu? That was they made?
Mm-hmm. Just like the next one, ba'u. Yeah, number 4, ba'u ha'am.
The people went to the city with great joy,
Mm-hmm.
for to them Jesus was something.
Yeah.
He's the one.
Yes. Because for them, salvation was what? Milkama was in the camp, in the gathering, that idea, in the not congregation, but in the camp, that idea.
You would translate Yeshua as salvation.
Yeah.
Rather than me.
5.
That'd be me. They something.
Sum. Saudi, Vav, final mem, famous word in the Old Testament. It's one that often today we may not be in focus on. To fast.
They fasted all day and not.
Akal, anyone? Yeah, so we fasted all day and we did not eat lachem,
Bread.
and we did not. Some of you getting back to Israel was on every Coke bottle over there. Drink Coke. We did not drink mayim. Water. Good. Number 6.
These are the sons of men in the middle of the people.
Yeah, these are the Garim. The Gabor is like a mighty warrior. These are the That's one possibility, but it's not Gibor, it's from Gur, which is what? Where we get Goyim from.
Nation.
Foreign. These are the foreign men where? Batok? In the midst of these people. Doing good. 7. Epho, Shamta, Et, Bari. What's Epho? Where did you put Et ha-peri? Perry? Where did you put the fruit which or that you took from the 8s? Where did you put the fruit that you took from the tree? Number 8.
We went, all of the mighty warriors or mighty Cannot measure.
Take a look at the first word again.
Cannot.
It's on the Coke bottles. That the king was here. Number 9. Anyone? The men drank water and also ate bread. Last but not least, number 10. Za-ha-ish asher. This is the man who. Notice the ending. What is? Did you have? Maybe you did. Vocab bakar means to. What's bakar? Becca, but what's bakar? It's to prefer or to the idea of choose, select. Notice it's a plural on the end of it, right? Pronoun. This is the man who you, that idea, for you, for a king. Good. Good. It's 7:05. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we're going to start working on the book of Nehemiah. And what I'd like to do is to take just a few minutes and introduce you to the book, some of the issues related. A few handouts will help. And then we'll start tonight translating. We should translate chapter 1 tonight in this post-exilic book. The evidence is that originally what we call Ezra and Nehemiah were one book, and that they were divided out as time went on. We have 2-page handout coming around that will summarize, one of each, summarize that issue, and let's start at that point. For those on video, it's simply the handout coming around 2 pages. It's entitled Ezra-Nehemiah, Evidence that they were originally one scroll. Number 1, according to the Babylonian Talmud, section Baba Batra 15a, both books were regarded as a unity, with Ezra being the author. The Jewish historian Josephus quoted them as being from one scroll or one book. The Alexandrian scholar Origen, notice the dates, was the first one known in history to divide Ezra and Nehemiah into 2 scrolls or 2 books. There may have been individuals at his time or before him that did that, but at least historically, he's the earliest one.
Was the rationale, was it too long for a single scroll again, or what was the...
On some of the books, like Chronicles or Kings, you can see that being, but here you would have, 20-some chapters, so that shouldn't be the issue. Number 4, the church historian Eusebius noted that Melito of Sardis sent a correspondence to his brother, Onesimus, not the Onesimus of the Bible, concerning the number and order of the Old Testament books. He states, "When I went to the east and came as far as the place where these things were proclaimed and done, I accurately ascertained the books of the Old Testament and send them to thee here below. The names are as follows. Of Moses, 5 books, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Jesus, that would be what? Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 4 of Kings, 2 of the Paralipomia, which is Chronicles. The 4 of Kings is what? 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings. In some Bibles, those books are called, Samuel is called 1 Kings, 2 Kings, Kings is called 3 Kings, 4 Kings. But anyways, that's what's being referred to, Samuel and Kings and Chronicles. Psalms of David, Proverbs of Solomon, which is also called Wisdom. Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Job, of the prophets, Isaiah, Jeremiah, of the 12 minor prophets, 1 book. Daniel, Ezekiel, Esdras. Esdras, of course, is an early name for this combined. From those I have therefore made the selections which I have divided into 6 books for his devotions. Ecclesiastical History 26. The Bible translator Jerome, who did the Vulgate, stated in his work Prologus Galeatus, noting, quote, Ezra, which itself is divided among Greeks and Latins into 2 books. Jerome borrowed that format for his own Vulgate or Latin Vulgate Bible. Number 6, the Masoretes placed their notes for Ezra and Nehemiah at the end of Nehemiah. In other words, if you go to the Masoretic text at the end of Ezra, there are no Masoretic ending notes and summation of how many words and all of that. That totals at the end of Nehemiah, but the total doesn't just fit Nehemiah, it fits both books. This is solid evidence that it was viewed by the main Hebrew scholars in AD 900 to 1000 as being 1 book. Also, the total and middle verse counts that occur at the end of the other Masoretic scrolls of the Old Testament are not after Ezra, but after Nehemiah, and include the total verses for both accounts. Page 2. Number 7, the Hebrew Bible manuscript of AD 1448 is the first known Hebrew usage of the 2-book division. This was simply an adoption of current Christian style of dividing books at that time. Number 8, the Bomberg Bible, a Hebrew Bible published by Daniel Bomberg in Venice, Italy during 1524-25, incorporated the division into 2 separate books in that Bible. Number 9, numerous literary features support the Ezra-Nehemiah originally being 1 scroll. Little a, condensed summaries that you see in both, and if you can track those out, they're very similar in style. B, common phraseology. Ezra 7:28, the hand of the Lord was upon me. Nehemiah 2:8, the good hand of my God was upon me. And little c, contextual issues for the context of Nehemiah 1:1, the 20th year of, compare the Ezra account. And this is very important because the book in a moment, as we look at it, starts out giving you a date, but all the information's not there. And you say, wait a minute, we need more information. Well, if they were 1 book, where do you find that information? In Ezra chapter 8 is where it actually is. We'll show you that in a few minutes. And number 10, the Jewish reckoning of 22 scrolls being in the Old Testament. Some counts say 24, but to get down to 22, this was one of the things that transpired. These 2 being looked at as 1 account. Now, as we get into Nehemiah, of course, we're talking post-exilic. See if I can get that focused a little better. There we go. Reconstructing a nation. Notice here, famous prophecy concerning the 70 years in exile. And what's interesting is, here you have a prophetic utterance and interpretation. Jeremiah is famous, you're going to be out there 70 years. The 70 years starts to come to conclusion, and individuals start saying very simply, using a normal hermeneutic, hey, it's been 70 years. What's God going to do? And God starts to do something. That's a normal hermeneutic. Anyways, 586, right? And but 586 to 536 doesn't work. However, Nebuchadnezzar came 3 times against Jerusalem. 605 BC, he started. 597 BC, he came back. Finally, Jerusalem fell in 586 BC approximately. From here to 535, 36 is your 70 years. Jeremiah's prophecy. Well, what happens? Zerubbabel, of course, goes back, starts work. You know the story well. Things go well for a while, start coming unraveled, and all of a sudden people are building their house versus God's house, and issues become warped and everything else. You then have a lifetime. Meanwhile, back in Persia, Book of Esther, Queen Esther issues. Ezra goes back to try to rebuild spiritual life of the people that was off. And then this book, Nehemiah, around 445 BC, will go back and try to deal with some of the problems concerning protection initially, the wall, but that leads into some other issues also. A few comments here on the book. Someone look up in Ezra 8. I don't have the verse written down, but I should. Ezra 8 is the connection with Nehemiah chapter 1 and 2 when it comes to so many years of what?
Captivity.
What king is mentioned in Ezra 8? Because as this book, Nehemiah, begins, it simply tells you certain month, what do we have in Ezra 8? Reign of who? Artaxerxes. Yeah. We'll look at that a little bit more in a little while, but simply in Nehemiah it starts out saying the 20th year of. It doesn't say the 20th year of what, but if there are 2 books, it would go back to chapter 8, the latest reference, and it's the 20th year of Artaxerxes. I've already talked about date, and I think we can get into the text itself. So let's start there. I have one other handout coming around. Very quickly, some of these places we'll be dealing with in our journey in the next few nights. And one other one on the months. And we'll look at that in a few minutes also. Okay, here we go. Divrei Nehemiah ben Hakaliah.
Words of Nehemiah, son of Hakaliah.
Yeah, if you look through the use of Divrei, It can mean words or discourses of. Compare Jeremiah 1 verse 1 and Hosea 1 verse 1. It can be used of prophetic words, teaching words, Jeremiah 1:1, Hosea 1:1, as examples. It can also refer to deeds and experiences for historical accounts. Examples of that, someone read for us 1 Chronicles 29 verse 29 concerning David, and 1 Kings 11:41 concerning Solomon. And what it looks like here is it's probably the second one. What the experiences, the deeds, the activity of Nehemiah, that type of idea or opening statement. 1 Chronicles 29:29 or 1 Kings 14 or 1 Kings 11:41. Anyone on either? Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. And if you look at the context there, it's probably dealing with like the deeds, the experiences of David, rather than what we would get more with a prophetic kind of statement. So the words of Nehemiah. It's what we call a theophoric element. What does that mean? Something concerning God. Theophoric. With Nehemiah, it is something concerning about Yahweh comforts. That's the meaning of Nehemiah, his name. Theophoric element means that there's a form of the name of God. Doesn't always have to be, of course, of the Old Testament, because we know the pagans did it. But it's a form of the name of God in a personal name. Daniel, El, Gabriel, El, on and on and on. Yah. From Yahweh, yeah. So what you have here is what? The Yah right here is the theophoric element, as was in his father's name. Now, what happened in the book of Daniel when they made it, or when they were taken out to Babylon? Their names were changed from many of their names that had Hebrew theophoric elements to Babylonian theophoric elements. Just about every terrorist in the Middle East you see on television, their names, usually not one, several theophoric elements out of names for Allah, out of the Quran. So even in modern usage, in a negative sense, so to speak. Vayahi, Bakodesh, Kislev, Shenath, Esrim.
Would that be in it happened or came to pass?
Kodesh, you may not have had that yet.
Is that Marcus? No.
Koshek? Kodesh?
In the new moon or new month?
It can be, but it also has the meaning of month. Came about in the month Kislev. Notice the chart I just handed out? Yeah, so the time, and we'll watch this because he keeps mentioning the year of, but also the month of. In a little while he'll be talking about Nisan up at the top, but right now we're at Kislev around our time of November, December. What happened? And it came about in the month Kislev, 20th year. Now notice here, and I know you're not that far in your studies, that you're dealing probably with the apparatus at the bottom of the page and all that, but the little B would refer you down your page to a little footnote, and the issue, of course, is what either the Septuagint says, perhaps, or what does this refer to? And this is what refers back. Let me just put it up here. This is what refers back. The arrow should be going that way, but Ezra chapter 8, and the fact that you're dealing with the time period of the kingship of Artaxerxes. Very quickly, what president of the United States were you born under? What president of the United States were you born under? We have to think Middle Eastern. We always think our calendar system. But what was your claim to fame in the ancient Near East? No one went what king you were born under. And what year of that king? What president were you born under? Harry Truman here. Who were you born under?
What, Nixon, 73?
Quickly!
You don't have JFK in
61, 62, 63.
JFK, that you?
Was he in the 60s?
In the 60s. JFK, 63 was true.
Okay, JFK. Before.
I was before, in 57.
57, Eisenhower.
What be Truman?
Hey, a couple Trumanites in here.
44, is that?
That's 49. Yeah, so.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, probably. Well, may have been FDR, but probably.
It feels like it.
Be nice. That's right around Ford, yeah. Nixon Ford, yeah.
Nixon.
Truman, hey, 3 Trumans.
53.
I think JFK and what? 64.
Around 69, yeah, Nixon Ford. 57, Eisenhower. Lincoln. We won't ask Jerry. We won't ask Gels. Okay. Va'ani, Hathi, Bashushan, Ha-Bara.
I then came into or to Shushan. It's proper noun. The palace.
Let's take that. Yeah, probably the experiences, the deeds of Nehemiah, son of Hakaliah. That's the opening kind of title, so to speak. And it came about in the month Kislev, 20th year, understood because it's one book, back 20th year of that guy, King Artaxerxes. That I was in Shushan, understood probably in the citadel. And we study, of course, Persian history. And Shushan is the summer, I should say the winter palace. The winter palace. And just a phenomenal complex that was built there. And even what they have found is pretty impressive, so to speak, 2,500 years later. Vayavo, Ka, Nani, Akkad, Me, Ka, Hu.
Then came Bo, Nani, proper noun, personal.
Yeah, Ka, Nani is his, what we'll find out, his brother, Hanani. Yeah, probably, and or then, Kanani, one
of the brother
from my, Hirikiod, brother, Ak, one from my brother, or brothers, he, and anashim, men, and this gets you all the way back to the title of your first short story. Yeah. And men from Judah. You've had this before. And I asked them all. Upon concerning the Ha-Yuhadim
The Jews.
and the Ha-Peleta. And this has the idea of being a remnant.
The escaping Jews.
Yeah. Now, what we're going to see in this account, let me just turn this off for a minute here. We're going to see in this account is what happened. What happened in 586 BC, what we call Babylonian exile, when they went, most stayed indefinitely. Even down to 40, 50 years ago, there was still a pretty large Jewish population in Baghdad. And when Ezra, Zerubbabel, Nehemiah brought their returns, that was a little fraction. Who wanted to go back to that place? It's in ruins. I was born over here. I have a business. Children were born here. My friends are here. It's cultured. Why would you want to go back there? So most didn't return. Most stayed there. And Babylon, if you study Jewish history, Babylon became this mega Jewish center for centuries. The great seminaries, the great yeshivas, the great gathering places was Baghdad, that area of the world. And I say all this because it gives a little light, I think, on the account of the wise men. Out of nowhere, how do these people know these things? Where are they coming from? They're coming from this area where, whether they're Jewish or not, there's a lot of Jewish influence and a lot of study of Scripture. On and on and on. So it's not like, here come the wise men out of a void asking these questions. Whoever they are, and there's different ideas, but whoever they are, they're coming from an area that had a long, mega Jewish influence, biblical influence, as times got quieter and safer for them through the centuries. And I asked them concerning the Jews of the remnant who Nisharu. Nisharu. What do we do with Nisharu?
Can you do remain?
You have your remnant here. Nisharu, the idea of survive. To be left. The ones that, kind of made it through that idea. Nifel, perfect. Third common plural from Sheen, Aleph, Resh. To be left. To survive. So he's asking questions about the Jews left where? Jerusalem. Those who've gone back. Now you have to remember, a lot of time's gone by. We said from the time of the first return, you had the whole 58 years, 60 years of the book of Esther. So, it's several generations. And what I get from this book is there was there were misconceptions at time of what was going on back there. He asked them these questions, and apparently he's expecting somewhat of an encouraging report, and what he hears devastates him. I mean, what he's hearing, I guess, is almost opposite of what he thought the reality was going to be. We'll look at that in a few minutes. Okay, let's get back to the beginning. Someone take us on the first opening.
Words of Nehemiah, son of Hachaliah.
Okay, and again, maybe instead of words here,
Experience
or deeds.
forces.
Okay? Someone with the second one, down to this point. Vayhi B'Kodesh came about in the month of Kislev. Then what? In the 20th year. Again. The rest of that verse? Someone else?
I came to Palace of Shushan.
Yeah, that I was in Shushan in the citadel of the palace. Verse 2. Someone do the beginning of verse 2 for us.
And it came. That was a properly on that.
Yeah, Kanani.
Hanani.
So probably then, or and Kanani, one from my brothers. He, who is he? And Anashim, and men from Judah
And
Sha'al to ask. And I asked them all about concerning the Jews of the remnant. Asher, who, Nisharu, who survived from
captives that were then in Jerusalem.
Hashavi. What's Hashavi?
Captives? No.
From the exile. From the captivity, the exile. And concerning Jerusalem, good. Vayomru li hanish arin asher nish aru min shavi. Yeah, and they said to me, what do you do with Anashim? Who's saying what? The remnant? Now they said to me, what? Yeah.
Who remained or survived the captivity.
From the captivity, exile, there, Medina, in the region, the province, understood our, A-R-E, in what? What's Ra? They're in great distress. They're in great trouble. And disgrace is the idea. Reproach. Why? Yeah, the place is a mess. They can't protect themselves. Their enemies are starting to laugh at them. You know, it's almost this idea, who's this great God you say you serve? How is He taking care of you? How is He protecting you? And so they become kind of the brunt, so to speak, of jokes. Caravans coming by and, oh, did you hear how those people are living down there? Wasn't this the great Israel? The great kingdom of Judah?
That's exactly how Sanballat and Tobiah thought.
Yeah, we come with chapter 4 and they'll be railing on them. Oh, let's see here. Oh, another big problem. Vakomat Yerushalayim Mitzraseh.
The Jerusalem wall was broken through, and the gate singular, I believe that's singular, and the gate they set on fire. They set on fire. So they saw a burning gate there too.
Okay, so the walls have been broken down. Not only that, the gates.
Is that the plural or? Gates.
Eight gates,
What do we have?
set on fire.
Nitztu Ba'esh.
Set on fire.
You see on the fire hydrant, not the fire hydrants, on the extinguishers in Israel. Aish is part of the little description there. So what's happened? The walls have been broken down. The city gates have been burned with fire. We're going to get into an interesting discussion, probably tomorrow, on what did they rebuild. Because in most of our minds, he goes there and he starts at bedrock and he works up and finishes a wall. There is no way you can do that in 52 days. No matter how many people you got.
Well, they were mocking him, said even the foxes would crawl up there.
Yeah, there is going to be, in Hebrew will help us, there will be some expressions which show us that what has happened is when he sieges a city. They don't break everything down. They'll use expressions like that, but they'll bust holes through, pour soldiers through, defeat the city. Kind of bad, real bad. So some places you may be, those working on the wall did whatever they did in 52 days. Less than 2 months. And someone would say, well, wow, is the Bible making a mistake here? I mean, did they actually build an entire wall in less than 2 months? No. The text will show you. They were rebuilding, but not rebuilding from point zero. Repairing is probably the best idea. Okay, let's see here. Start back with 1. Someone read the first line for us. Probably the matters, the deeds, the experiences of, son of. Okay, and then what?
It happened in the month Chislev, 20th year.
And I was
in
Shushan in the citadel of the palace. And Hanani. one from
my brethren,
and
he,
Anashim, men of,
Judah,
men from,
Judah,
back to the verb, came and
asked,
I asked them regarding, concerning the Jews
the remnant
of the remnant who
which
survived from the
exile,
and concerning
Jerusalem.
good. Verse 3. And they said to me, the remnant who survived from the captivity there in. Now let's talk about that for a minute. Book of Esther helps us here. Remember the area that the Assyrians took over when they were defeated by the Babylonians. The Babylonians pretty well took over the same area the Assyrians had, big empire. When the Persians take over, they take over that area, but they really go to town. Now, what had happened in the ancient Near East, pretty well it had turned into a mafia situation. And what I mean by that, everybody was paying for protection. That's the whole idea of tribute. Okay? So, bigger country pressures you, says, hey, pay us so much a year, or give us this, give us that, or we're going to come and lean on you. So you pay, right? And that's what the Assyrians did. That's what the Babylonians did. The Persian kings come along and they all go to a Dale Carnegie course. And they say there's got to be a way to conquer but have people like you. And they come up with a pretty good idea. The idea, in 1 minute, the idea is, hey, you want to go back to your old land? We'll let you go back. But you got to obey us. And that's what we see. The Jews get to go back. There's some freedom there. Some others get to go back. Hey, the Persians are great people. My word, we can go back to our ancestral homes. All we got to do is abide by the law. Hey, we can do that. We're going back. That's kind of the setting as you open up with Ezra chapter 1 with Zerubbabel. We'll take a break and we'll change tapes and come on back. Thank you.